One person learns to never be charitable ever again, diving into the rabbit hole of someone's profile, which really is constant L's no matter how many times they post. But is this a scumlord in the making, or is this person getting a bit too much flack? Hello, all you delicious snacks. Welcome, delicious backs. My name is Jack, and today we'll be beginning with our first story. Am I the a-hole for giving my girlfriend therapy for Christmas? Now, I'm 32 male, and I got my girlfriend 29. 6 sessions of therapy for her birthday and Christmas present this year. Her birthday is December 16. I couldn't book the appointments myself since it's not my insurance, and she is not my dependent, obviously. So, I gave her a nice card, and inside said I would pay for the amount for 6 sessions of therapy based on the rates in my area. I spent a lot of time researching providers that matched her health insurance and settled on a general budget that is absolutely up for negotiation based on what provider she ends up liking. Shockingly, we got into an argument when I gave it to her, and she is staying with a friend now, which she has never done before. She's been living in my apartment for 5 months. She screamed and cried, asking if I thought she was crazy or if I was unhappy, which is not the case at all. She's an amazing woman. She has been getting increasingly emotional over small things and has talked about wanting to consider therapy. I think she would benefit from it because she is under a lot of stress from her job, has had some bad relationships in the past, and over the last few months has gotten increasingly irritable no matter what I do to fix things. I was trying to be thoughtful since therapy is something I wouldn't want to pay for myself since it isn't a fun purchase. We have been together for over a year, and I thought that this is what partners do for each other. She told the friend she's staying with that I think she's crazy, which is not true. I am just not a trained professional, and when she complains about work and things I can't change, I don't know what she wants from me. I can't fix her problems because I am not doing them to her. And they are the same problems over and over. I can't keep track of all the details and developments anymore. It is frustrating to hear about the same old things. I can't fix her stuffy coworkers or her bad budgeting since I have never been in those situations. So I wanted to set her up with someone who knows what to do. Also, for the record, I got her another gift she could unwrap on Christmas Day, and an additional one she could unwrap in front of her family that is very nice or expensive, but she hasn't opened that yet and doesn't know what I got her. It's expensive jewelry. So am I the a-hole for genuinely trying to help my girlfriend? I think this is a great example where the intention was good. It's just your method of approaching this was bad. Despite this, people are quick to shame this man. You're the a-hole. When she complains about work and things she can't change and you don't know what she wants from you, she wants you to listen to her vent. Is that really a foreign concept to you? I get where they're coming from. I also feel like this accusation the OP is being so stupid that it's a foreign concept. I mean, it's also common sense that guys are like that they constantly need to prove themselves useful or purposeful with any engagement or activity they're doing. While he shouldn't be surprised that all she would want is just someone to listen to her, she also shouldn't be surprised if he's going to find any possibility to hopefully resolve her issue. I personally don't think it makes him a monster like some of these comments are trying to imply, but I definitely still agree he is an a-hole for the fact that he thought this would be a good gift. Understandably, it is the OP who is asking about their actions in the situation, so it's only fair to only focus on his actions. With this first point being a really good one, you think she would benefit from therapy. You, not her. She needs to make that step towards getting help and not have it shoved in her face and presented as a present. No, she needs your support, your good listening ears, and a good attitude. You getting annoyed about her complaining or talking about her day is being an a-hole all on its own. Now, again, I know I'm bringing out my male bias here, but there is a big difference between being annoyed and feeling useless. And as any guy can attest, feeling useless can stress you out. It can frustrate you. It can annoy you. Again, I don't say this to excuse this guy's terrible gift ideas. I just personally think this guy isn't being as heartless and disrespectful towards her life issues like everyone's trying to imply. But what do you think, though? Do you think this is a case of someone just offering assistance in the worst time of the year to do so? I mean, there's tactics to say, hey, if you want to seek professional help about this, I will be there for you. But do you agree with the rest of the comments here that they think this person is honestly not deserving of her? Totally be open to some more female perspectives on this as well. well. Again, I am a dude. I understand my bias in this scenario. Over to another person people think are the total of a-holeness. Am I the a-hole for refusing to spend Christmas with my ex's new family? I have a very complicated family system. There's me, 43 male, and I live with my beautiful wife, 42 female, and our 3 children. But I also have 2 kids with my ex, both 19 female. Recently, she's gotten remarried and has another daughter who's 3 now. So yeah, condoms? Foreign concept to this gentleman. We've had a hard time with co-parenting. When the twins were younger, we lived in the same apartment building and tried our best, but things happened and her mental health got bad and a lot of resentment built up between her and my family. I wanted to move on, and she couldn't seem to take care of her kids properly. The kids themselves are also train wrecks, though I guess I can't blame them based on who their mother is. But things are going a little better now since she has her new husband. She's settled down in a nice house, and this year she called to ask how we were doing Christmas. I asked what she meant. I honestly don't like talking to her much and was eager for her to hang up the phone. Well, she sounded like she was confused and said she thought I would want to spend time with the girls. I know what she really meant was spending time with her and her family. I told her that they're adults and are welcome to make plans with me if they want to. She said that my wife and sister invited her, her husband, and the kids to the annual Christmas Eve party. I said, "There's your plans," and hung up on her to focus on work. Well then this evening, my wife comes into my home office looking mad. She asked if I told my ex off. I said no. I told her the twins could make their own holiday plans. My wife was not happy with this solution and told me that I needed to work harder to tend to both of my families. I told her that I have one family. She was utterly appalled by this and stormed out. Now my wife, ex, and sister, who are all best friends, are calling me an a-hole and saying that I need to put in more effort for my ex and her kids. Am I the a-hole? Unsurprisingly, this is the top comment, with you saying the kids themselves are also train wrecks considering they came from that mother. You're the a-hole for this sentence alone. But then you doubled down with, "Oh, I told her that I have one family." You know, perhaps the kids are train wrecks because their father opted out of parenting them. Yeah, not to mention this comment as well, how he wanted to move on and she couldn't seem to take care of her kids properly. Like, how are they her kids and not his kids too? Dude literally would be abandoning that part of the family if it weren't for the fact that his new wife and sister are still close with the ex. But arguably, there are some valid natas to consider. Because your kids with your ex are 19 years old. There's no reason they can't drive themselves to and from wherever they want to go. Your ex does not need to be invited or included in any holiday plans that your new family makes. Making another point that your sister-in-law and your wife kind of a-holes for inviting your ex without discussing it with you first. I mean, you clearly have more of a past with her that's been tarnished than they do. You should at least be given some sort of say in deciding if that's okay and comfortable for you. But not without also pointing out that if your kids are train wrecks, then help them. You're their dad. You're not an extended relative. You are accountable for how they turn out, not just their mom. And thank God the OP is responding to comments because we learn a little bit more why OP seems to be so adamant on not acknowledging these adult twins as his own, family. So, in some comments, one person mentions how you're kind of the a-hole when you married your ex's best friend and expected her to no longer be in your life. Oh, but those timeline of events is actually inaccurate. For you see, I was dating my current wife before I had the twins with my ex. She was just a drunken fling while she was married to someone else. I guess she's more my baby mama than ex. You read it here, folks. Turning this story into a borderline troll post, OP cheated on his partner, which caused these twins. With her friend. Oh, but in his defense, we were on a break and she's actually happy it happened because it got her friend out of her terrible marriage. All's well that ends well. One could say that his wife genuinely has enough of a backbone that she's not actually fazed by this sort of thing at all between the entire friends and family. That, or she is genuinely extremely doormatty. I honestly don't know at this point. Like, goddamn, you're just as much of a train wreck as the children you insult. Your children sound like they're doing far better than you miserable man. Over to our next story, a warning tale about generosity. Helped an old lady, now living the begging hell. I used to help an old sweet granny after her husband passed away and she couldn't work her casual jobs, helping other elderly people during COVID. So I gave just $100 a month for groceries, and every now and again I got her something extra. She would never ask, but we got a lot closer and she seemed to be a genuinely good person. Then, for her birthday, I got her a beach vacation. Just a small Airbnb and covered the costs. It was around $150. And her whole family could join. And they did. Then, she got serious pneumonia 3 days before the vacation. I called the accommodation and they agreed to move the booking to 2 weeks later. Well, the family was furious. How I was ruining their vacation. They do not work. Every day is a vacation for that family. Oh, can't you just rebook her another one and we still go? Oh, you were gonna have to tell my kid you ruined their vacation. She survived and they went. She loved it. It was for her, not them. But oh goodness, this unlocked pure hell. Her daughter took this chance to save my number and asked for money all the time. Birthday? I'm broke. End of month? No food in the house. My daughter's B-day? I need a $70 cake or I'll ruin her birthday. And the granny I've helped has since passed from cancer. She was helping an elderly man with dementia when her body gave out and she was admitted. Until her last act, she was helping. She deserved every bit of help. She deserved better family. The daughter still messages me every month, by the way. I've pretended to change my number because I've said no plenty of times. Every time is another story. Just get a job, woman. Work. And now, when I go somewhere and by the off chance post something online, she will send me essays on how she's suffering and I'm living a luxurious life. If I block the number or account, more will be created. So, suggested solutions? Start sending her help wanted ads every single time she begs you for cash. I'll bet she stops asking pretty quickly. No, better yet, just send pictures of leeches. The human equivalent of gum on the bottom of your shoe. Yeah, it's a bit of a sad reality that this is how this grandmother's family has become. I mean, based on her being so generous even to her dying days, I kinda can't help but wonder if maybe these people have been conditioned to just rely on others for assistance. Do not doubt this elderly woman, when she was still around, had this habit towards her own children. And now, instead of them learning and being inspired by their grandmother for behaving like this, they're trying to leech off other people instead. Well done, daughter. Some of the last memories your mother will have of you is how you never helped her, was never there for her in her dying days, and instead tried to harass the people who were literally helping her when you weren't around to. I'd hope that'd communicate some sense into you, but last I checked, rats don't speak. And now for a stalker in the making through multiple posts. This is a collage of posts made by this single account over the last 3 months, all slowly insinuating that this person is not going to grow up to the best example of an individual adult. So it was first noticed when they posted, "My teacher deleted a certain picture from Facebook and now I'm confused. On Friday, my class went on a field trip to a science museum. It was kinda boring, but the part that really stuck out to me was the end of the trip. When it was all over, the whole class had to sit down on these steps while we waited for the buses to pick us up. Our science teacher was taking pictures of us as we sat and waited. Well, yesterday she posted pictures from the trip on her Facebook, and one of them was a big photo of all of us students sitting on the steps. Sitting a few flights above me was this girl that I've had a crush on since 6th grade. In the photo, she's clearly staring down at me while I'm talking with my friends, and I was excited. I've always suspected her of liking me, but now it looked like I had undeniable proof. She was obviously staring at me. Today, when I went to view the photo again, it was gone. Of all the photos from the trip, it was the only one that the science teacher had deleted, and I don't know why. I'm thinking that my crush might have seen it too and asked the teacher to delete it. That's the only explanation. What else is there? I'm just confused, and I'm worried that it might have something to do with how she feels about me. What do you think? A far more logical explanation? If it was the only photo with the whole group, it's possible that one of the kids who was only in that photo has a parent that doesn't want photos of their kid posted online. Now, this story, with its stalkerish behavior, raised some red flags for people clearly experienced with this kind of person, to the point we've literally got some sort of manifesto lined up of all these person's previous posts. Beginning from 5 months ago, where OP threw their friend's bag into a swimming pool. To summarize it, OP and Drew go to the local pool, and OP thinks it'd be a lark to toss Drew's bag into the pool in retaliation for some teen hijinks. The bag with his phone, to which OP admits to using the friendship to gain an inroad with the popular kids, though he at least feels a little bad about destroying Drew's phone too. So just the first post and we're already getting an inkling that OP likes to use people to get some sort of social status. Then came a month later where OP is kicked off the soccer team for the next year. Basically, they were a bad sport about massively losing a game, 10-0, and instead of shaking hands, they just, refused to participate in that, and even threw a bottle at their own coach when the coach started to shake the hands of the other team. So naturally, the coach is like, hey, you're literally being a toddler despite being a teenager. Your childishness is not welcome in this sport anymore. And some fun further details with that post from the OP's own comments. After all that happened, OP's dad said soccer is for pussies after mom failed to convince the coach to reconsider. And OP now thinks that not playing might make him more popular anyway. A few months down the line, they call out their friend for no longer wanting to fight a popular student named Brandon. So what does OP do instead of, acknowledging that their friend Matt actually has a sense of maturity or some common sense not to fight someone they might not win against or will just get them in trouble for fighting? Well, instead of being a supportive friend, he accuses Matt of just chickening out, to which Matt absolutely beat the hell out of him, and now their friendship is over, and OP genuinely wonders who's the a-hole in that scenario. It's posts like these that make me really struggle to believe there are genuine troll posts out there, because there are genuinely people this ridiculous in the world. So that's one friend gone, another clearly on the rocks after throwing their phone in the lake. Comes the next tirade in OP's life, wondering if they're the a-hole for telling their best friend that he can't be nominated for Class King. Best friend is named Jack. They're in 8th grade at this point, and OP's argument for why he shouldn't be called Class King is because Jack can't read, and OP can, and therefore Jack is apparently too stupid to be nominated because, OP is really desperate to have that campus or school popularity, and to have him not get this title, well, apparently that's just horrifying to even conceive of. And so, just like dominoes, another friend of OP's goes. Which brings us now to where this stalkerish behavior picks up, with a post titled, I'm jealous of seeing my crush with another guy. And again, to summarize, this man is just enraged at the fact that a woman is out in public with another man who she enjoys the company of. How dare she? He secretly liked her for 2 years. She's got to surely understand that she's not allowed to communicate with any other men now until he finally gets off his ass and admits his feelings. Now that said, he does admit he's wanting to know how to overcome these feelings, so there's some progression there. He's not asking ways to off Freddy in his sleep, he's asking how he himself can work on himself. If only you learnt to perceive or tackle these sort of things before 3 months ago. But now we come to the story that was just before the first one we read. Am I the a-hole for asking my best friend to help make me more popular at school? Remember, Drew? The person OP threw their bag which had their phone into the lake? Yeah, that guy! He's back. Turns out he's just transferred to OP's school. And unfortunately, immediately, unlike OP, he's already been welcomed into the popular group. Even one of the 5 guys nominated for Class King. The scandal! To which OP tries to tactfully utilize his friendship with Drew to help him weasel into the friends group or the popular group himself. To which, truth bomb from the OP, Drew actually told me that a lot of the popular kids genuinely don't like me. And oh god, even worse damage, Drew even told me that he doesn't think any of the teachers even like me, which is complete bull. So understandably, this causes OP and Drew to get into an argument and, well, look at that, another friendship lost. Now, it is kind of sad that everyone doesn't really seem to like him, but in all of their defense, based on his post history, it doesn't really seem like he's giving them much of a choice, is it? It's unsurprising that everyone is to vindicate this guy as just being, the worst of the worst. But we still need to acknowledge the fact that they are still a young adult, well, young teen, not even a young adult, a young teen. Despite his slightly repetitive at this point history of being this kind of person, does he deserve this sort of ridicule? He is posting on a public forum with absolutely no censorship onto one's opinions and brutal honesty towards their thoughts on you, but I do honestly believe there should be some slack given to this guy. They still have a very long time to work on this sort of behavior. If anything, good on him for actually seeking out random advice from strangers who would get a completely third eye view on them. It's far easier for these type of people to just ignore all of this and just to keep behaving, so cringe. So what do you think? Do you think OP deserves all of this shaming? Or do you think they deserve a bit of slack for just, wanting to fit in, wanting to be liked? Can you really blame a teenager wanting some sort of social respect? Especially in the age of frickin' TikTok, and now the fact that social media is just constantly reminding them how they are never enough unless they buy this amazing product right now. That's my 2 cents. Let me know what yours are down below. And until next time, we might end things there. Thank you, as always, for watching. Love your face. Remember to drink that water, slappy slap, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.